Hey guys, my name is Anju. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my favorite tips and tricks for covering my dark circles to make them look as natural and seamless as possible. If that sounds like something that you're into, please keep watching. And if not, why not? All right, if you have dark circles like me, then you know the struggle, but I want to start by saying that you should feel comfortable in your own skin, dark circles or no dark circles. I went through a whole phase where I was like so self-conscious of my dark circles, but you shouldn't be like that. Whatever, dark circles are fine. But if you are looking to cover your dark circles, you came to the right girl. I've had dark circles my whole life. I've been trying to cover them, finding different tips and tricks since about middle school. Not all of them worked, but I've compiled my favorite products and my favorite tricks for covering dark circles to make them look seamless, but also natural, not like completely covered looking. First things first, get yourself a good eye cream, like a really good eye cream. It's gonna take some trial and error to find one that works for you, but I'll suggest the one I like to use. This is the Origins GinZing Refreshing Eye Cream to Brighten and Depuff. It's a long ass name, but there you go. Okay, now that I've brought you guys in just a little bit closer, I'm gonna walk you through the process. So I'm gonna take my eye cream, I'm gonna take just my ring finger and a dab of the eye cream, that much, and apply it just a little bit under both eyes. And I like to do my eyelids too. This isn't a very heavy cream, so I don't feel that it is weird on my eyelids. So you're just gonna pat this in. Make sure you're patting. You will thank me later when you don't have wrinkles under your eyes. It takes a minute longer to pat rather than just quickly rub it in, but but just pat it in, because that will save your under eye skin. I feel like an eye cream is one of those things that like you'll thank yourself later for using too, religiously using an eye cream and really taking care of that area. It won't get rid of your dark circles. It definitely won't. I've never found an eye cream that just gets rid of dark circles, but it helps kind of keep that area, that skin looking healthy, and that's what you want long term, right? Next, second things second, a corrector. I swear by a corrector. I know correctors have been kind of popular lately, but I've been using a corrector since I think I went to like a Bobbi Brown counter and the woman there showed me their correctors, and I mean, that's still one of my favorite correctors. It changed my life. I was like, oh my god, my under eyes don't look great. So right now I'm using this NYX palette. This is the NYX Color Correcting Concealer palette, I guess. Looks like this. And I use this salmon color right here. Any salmon color really does the trick if you're medium skin tone, medium olive skin tone. If you're very light skin tone, use a lighter peach concealer. Becca has a really nice one. And if you're deeper skin toned than me, you can use either a really dark orange concealer, like a coral colored concealer. Becca has a good one of those, and Bobbi Brown has a huge range of those as well. NYX does more affordable ones. I like to use, again, this peach color corrector. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. I typically like to apply corrector with my finger. I feel like it kind of warms it up. It makes it easier to apply to that area. So I apply it. I like to get right in that line where I don't know, not everyone has this line. I have this line right here where you can kind of see the demarcation of where my bags are. So I like to cover that pretty thoroughly with this. I know you see the social media concealer triangle. You don't want to be doing that with corrector. Corrector is just to counteract the darkness under your eyes. So really just where the darkness is, you just want to place this right on top of that to correct the color, which is obviously what a color corrector does. Okay, I look a little crazy at this point, but trust me. So the next step is going to be concealer, which is like one of my favorite makeup products. The concealer I love, the concealer I have been using for, oh, I forgot how long now, is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which everyone loves right now. And as you can tell, mine is like very loved. So I have the color medium. That's the shade that works well for me. I don't like to go too much lighter than my skin tone, but just a just a titch lighter, just to add some light to that area, but not to where it's like a completely different color than your skin tone. So I don't do a full triangle under my eyes. I feel like that's way too much concealer. What I like to do, I like to take my concealer wide because I have a very long face. So I take it this way, and I like to kind of contour my nose with it. So I take it from the corner of my eye down straight down the side of my nose. Just a touch right there too, because I have a lot of darkness right there. So this will depend on your face shape, what your dark circles look like. So just kind of customize it to your face. So I like to, again, drag it that way, cover just the darkness there, and then the sides of my nose, just to add some light to that area too. I also conceal my eyelids. I do this because I'm gonna put eyeshadow on and I am too lazy to use an eyeshadow primer. This is easier for me. So I'll do that and I will blend it out. To blend, I use this Kat Von D brush. I don't know what it is, number 40. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it's for. I use it for my under eyes because that's what I like it for. So we're just gonna go in, again, patting motions because you do not want to pull, tug, I don't know what else on your under eyes. Just keep patting. It takes longer, but you will thank yourself when you don't have wrinkly under eyes. Also, I don't use a beauty blender under this area. I feel like I don't use enough concealer to justify a beauty blender, because with this much concealer, if I'm using a beauty blender, it blends away some of the product and I don't want that. I have a hair on my eye. So, as I was saying, I don't want to do that because it blends away some of the product. It takes away some of the coverage. I don't want that. If you're using a ton of concealer, then I can see wanting to blend it away a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. But in my case, I don't feel the need to do that. Okay, now that we have blended the concealer out, we're gonna go in with some setting powder. Now, I don't use setting powder all over the area because it makes my under eyes look really dry. If you have oilier under eyes or oily eyelids, you might wanna do that. I'm just showing you my way of doing it. Customize it to your needs. The setting powder I use is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This is in the shade Translucent Light. They also have a deeper shade, so I think that's awesome that, you know, they try to include everyone that way. So I'm just gonna take this on this Real Techniques brush. I don't even know what it is. It's a setting brush, so perfect. I'm using setting powder. So I just get it kind of on the corner of the brush, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the powder into just right underneath my eye, right where I crease. So I crease right in this area, which, you know, you can tell just by kind of where your eye crinkles, where the skin crinkles, and then I just take the excess onto my eyelid to keep that from wrinkling as well. So just rub it in. I pack on a little bit extra right under here, but I just kind of go back and forth motions to get rid of the excess powder afterwards. It's not really baking. I don't leave it long enough to call it baking, but I just like to let it sit there just for a second and then I just brush it away. You want to do back and forward motions just so that you're not pushing the concealer more into those lines. So back and forth. Okay, now that we've set right under there to prevent creasing, the last thing I do to cover my dark circles is I go in with a colored powder. What I like to use is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I find that this one, just like the powders, work amazing under there. Some powders can be a little heavy. I really like these ones. So this comes with a light shade, a yellow shade, and a peachier shade. So Lucid, Lyric, and Levitation. I use the two darker shades, the two deeper shades, so the yellow shade and the peach shade. I go in with those two. I kind of just mix my brush in both of them. I don't know if you can see that. Let me do it upside down so mirror's not in it. Boop, boop. Just kind of mix around and then just tap off the excess. There's a lighter shade in there for you, those of you that are lighter skin toned, but that one's a little too light for me. So just go in and I just apply it basically everywhere else I applied concealer where I didn't set with the setting powder. This just adds another layer of color correction and concealing those circles. I like this step. I feel like when I don't do this step, I definitely notice that I don't have that powder under there. It doesn't look as concealed to me. It doesn't look as seamless without this powder. So just kind of based on your skin tone, find a powder that works best for you. I've definitely tried some that have been too light or too dark. So it just comes down to your skin tone, but I love this palette. I think it works for most skin tones. Also, I'm going to put all the product links in the description box down below. I don't think I mentioned that before, but they'll all be down there. So hopefully that helps you guys. All right, I'm all done. I've set the under eye. I went from my dark circles looking like this to like this. Hopefully you can see a difference. I'm gonna go finish up my makeup and then I'm gonna come back with some tips and tricks that I like to use that are not necessarily concealing dark circles, but help the area look more seamless and more natural rather than right now it looks very washed out. So I'll come back and I'll show you those tricks. Okay, I'm back. I finished my makeup for the most part. I have a couple more tricks to show you guys for how to bring life back to that area. Now that we've kind of covered it all up, kind of made it look all washed out one color, we're gonna bring some life back, bring some depth and interest back to that area. So I have a couple more things to show you guys, but first let me eat some chocolate because I got hungry doing my makeup. Oh no. So good. It's not good. Just okay. So what I want to stress is that you don't want to leave the area just washed out, right? You want to add life back to your face. You want it to have depth and dimension. One thing I swear by, which I think a lot of girls already know, is you want to fill in your brows. You want to bring some color and some darkness to kind of frame your eyes. Another thing that I like to do is eyeshadow. Just even if you're pressed for time and you don't have time to do a whole look, just do a crease color. Add some life back, add some depth back to your eyes. It's all about taking darkness away where you don't want it and then reintroducing it, bringing it back where you do want some depth. So you want some depth in the crease, at least at the very minimum. You know, you could use the same color you use for bronzer or contour just to bring some life back there. I like to also add shadow underneath the eye, just kind of bring some life back down there because it's so washed out that it looks a little unnatural. I think a lot of women with dark circles kind of stray away from adding any darkness under there for fear of making it look darker. But because we've already taken away that darkness and concealed it, you want to bring it back in a way that adds kind of brings out your eyes. It's not so much about your dark circles, but bringing life back to your eyes. One thing that'll bring a little bit of light back to that area is adding a light color on the inner rim. So the way I like to do this is I will add some white highlighter in there. I know that typically a pencil is used or some kind of liner. That never works for me. It never stays. It never really shows enough. So what I've found is I like to use a white highlighter. So I have this Anastasia Nicole Guerrero highlighter kit. I'm obsessed with her. She's amazing. I love her. So I just take, again, my finger and just rub it in, get some shadow, and then it's not shadow, highlight. I'll just rub it and get some highlight, and then I just press it just lightly on the inner rim of my eye. It will get a little on your eyelashes, but that's okay. We're gonna add some mascara there, so that's fine. So just take a little bit more. Do the same to this eye. Now, if white is a little harsh for you, you can use a different color. I just like the pop of white. I think it really opens up your eye, really brings some like light to that area. So now that we've added the white there, I also like to highlight to bring more light, to introduce light in a way that isn't concealer or isn't powder, that's like a little bit more vibrant. So this is the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. Ooh, that probably blinded you. The Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. I just got this. I'm already obsessed with it. I love it. The color is so pretty. It's not gold, it's not champagne, it's beautiful. So I'll take a little bit on this Morphe E36 And I'll just take it on the inner corner, just add light. Especially since we've added shadow, you can get away with adding a little light back this way. So just right there in the inner corner. I also like to add a little bit, just the tiniest bit of highlighter just to the arches of the brow. It lifts your face, it adds like some light and some glow. Takes away attention basically from the dark circles. So, looks good to me. The last trick I like to use is I like to put mascara on my bottom lashes. Again, this is another way to introduce darkness and depth in a way that's more controlled. It's where you want it. It accentuates what you want to accentuate, which is basically beautiful lashes. Who doesn't want those? So it adds contrast and focus somewhere else, which is making your eyes pop, and this area goes kind of into like the background, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, guys, well, this is a finished look. I hope that you found some tips, tricks, products, techniques that were useful, helpful, new. Please leave in the comments below if you have any techniques or any products that I didn't mention that you love for covering your dark circles, because I'm always wanting to learn new tricks and new techniques for covering these suckers. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting more content soon for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, mwah.